US President Donald Trump makes no secret of his anti-Iran agenda. He has stepped up his rhetoric against Iran over the past months. On May 8th, he took his anti-Iran moves to a whole new level with his withdrawal from the nuclear deal with the Islamic Republic. Trump's administration has threatened Tehran with the toughest sanctions in history. Many observers have warned that the White House's hostile stances are pushing the Middle East to the brink of another conflict. This has even worried many moderate politicians inside the United States. US lawmakers in the House of Representatives have passed a bipartisan amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act that prevents any military strike against Iran without congressional approval. The move further highlights concerns about Trump's agenda in dealing with Iran after abandoning the hard-earned nuclear deal.
We have just created a bloodbath in the Middle East, which is totally unjustified. We have no right to be in there under international law. And so I think the Congress is expressing frustration. And I thought it was interesting that one of the people who signed on was Walter Jones. Walter Jones is a Republican, and he represents a district that is almost entirely composed of elite military forces of the 2nd Marine Division and the 2nd Marine Air Wing.
The amendment was introduced by Democratic Representative Keith Ellison of Minnesota. Ellison was one of many U.S. lawmakers who opposed Trump's pullout from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action.
I think this is it's an excellent amendment. What it does, the amendment is a sense of Congress amendment that says that it's the sense of Congress that the use of military force against Iran is not authorized either by the Military Appropriation Act or by any other act of law.
Ellison believes the new amendment is a timely response to Trump's withdrawal from the nuclear deal. He also says the move by the House of Representatives sends a powerful message to the White House that Americans are against a war with Iran. Some analysts say the amendment reveals that even U.S. lawmakers deeply distrust the president when it comes to the use of military force in the Middle East.
We have an unusual situation with the power of the president in military affairs. The president's power is very broad, and it's very difficult for Congress to restrict it. But the very fact that they would insert this in the military appropriations bill makes it very clear that there is a concern about this, and I think it creates an impediment to this seemingly inexorable march towards war.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been a big influence on Trump. Netanyahu's fierce opposition to the Iran nuclear deal was to a large extent to blame for Trump's final decision to pull out. Netanyahu fell out with former US President Barack Obama over his determination to pursue diplomacy with Iran. The Israeli premier intensified his lobbying campaign to pile pressure on Iran as soon as Trump took office. His efforts now seem to be paying off, with the US president threatening Iran and setting tough conditions for entering any new nuclear agreement.
I do agree that the amendment that was passed by the House of Representatives recognizes that there is an undue influence from the Netanyahu administration, and I pray that there will be an opponent who will challenge him.
Analysts believe America's decision to scrap the JCPOA once again revealed the depth of Israeli influence on U.S. politics.